let's go ahead and get started. So today's reading was existing. And if you read the email, it kind of has to do with the idea that we see life as existing, and yet it's pretty much just our idea is what we see, and we call that life. And so really the sages always tell us that the life that's out there is a dream, and what's real is only what we see in ourselves. And so it's not really what we see outside, it's only what we see within ourselves that's the real world. Bert Wolf did a special for KQED, and last night it was on, called Practicing Peace, and he speaks with a fella, not exactly our Rinpoche, but one of the fellows from India who's always conversing with the world about what peace is and how peace works and all that kind of stuff. And the reality that he comes to a most common statement of is that because of the way that we react to things outside of us, we're always in conflict with it. And so when we stop that and look inside and try to resolve the conflicts we have within ourselves, we realize how all of the conflicts on the outside are made up. We create them. It's our ego, it's our desire, it's our demand, it's our perception of ownership or expectation. And so really, the sages try to get us to realize that really if we look inside and we resolve our internal conflicts, we find peace quite readily, and then we recognize peace outside, and we don't see everything as being some challenge or conflict or work or whatever it might be. So this time of year is really kind of funny like that, because we get days like this morning when the fog is surreal. You know, you kind of look out and it's like, where is everything? You know, nothing's really real. And the reading talks about a crow in the fog somewhere just cawing and cawing and cawing because he doesn't like it. He doesn't like the dream. And so that's reflective of the way we react, is we see life and many times we don't like what we see, and so we're in conflict with it. So resolution of conflict and recognition of purpose, both are hand in hand this time of year, especially with the idea of fall, right? We're coming into, we're collecting, we're cleaning out the storeroom, we're organizing stuff and preparing for the winter. And so we have this fear of not having enough. We have this concern of, did we gather well this year? And then how are we going to make it through the winter? But this also leads to great opportunity of, yes, I do have enough, and the storeroom is prepared. And now we can invite in family, and we can communicate goodwill, and we can communicate some sharing and some support and things like that, which I did send a second email today, which was from my herbalist and my mentor, instructor, Sean Fannin. The second half of the email is the article that he writes, and he's been published in a variety of the Chi is a newswork magazine that's out there. He's been published in that, and a couple others. But if you read that, it really opens up where opportunity exists this time of year, instead of this whole everything's coming in and closing and drawing down and all that. Well, yeah, but that means you draw your family in closer and bring them with you, you know, and hold them closer to you. And it's not always just your family, but it's people that you see every day. You see somebody, instead of just saying, hey, you know, it's like, how are you today? You know, just open a dialogue and recognize the person that you know and you see, and just take that moment to recognize it, and it opens up. It opens up, right? We feel that sense of connection with people, because this time of year, it's really easy for it to happen, but we have to try, and then it happens, big. You know, it's like, oh, all I had to do is just say, how are you? And boom, you know, the big flower opens up and you feel this wonderful aura and the connection starts. And we want to do that this time of year, especially this time of year, because as we move further into fall and into winter time, we need to have that little warmth, that little friendly connection, and that keeps the coal burning so that we can make it to spring, right? So it's not just in here so much as it's that connection from here to all the little things around us, all the people around us, and all of our connections in life. Okay, so apart from that, any questions on the reading or ideas? No? Okay. So last couple of weeks we've really been looking at the idea of this rocking rhythm and how that helps to settle the energy, calm spirit, and relax the mind. And that's really important. We're moving out of the summer, we're moving into the fall, we're kind of slowing down. And this is a really good practice, and just do this for a minute or two. And you can do it in kind of a swaying, turning motion. It doesn't have to be just a simple rocking. It can be just whatever the body feels. Just kind of connect to that. As you're doing it, feel your legs. Feel the feet. Feel how the feet are connected to the ground. And then don't let yourself get over balanced, right? You don't want to lean off too much, but you want to shift from foot to foot like we always talk about. It's all about rolling from one side to the other. Just a nice, relaxed move. Good. I noticed most of you are slowing down already. That's just a good thing. That's the next thing, is as you breathe and really connect, the body slows down and we get that nice, comfortable wave feeling. Good. Good. Okay. So now we're going to look at two of the exercises that we've practiced in the past. One of them is eagle gathers clouds, or eagle draws in. So it's more of it's a lot like the closing exercise where you pull the hands all the way up and draw in and come down. But instead we're going to reach out in front of us and we're going to make a big hug. Yeah, we're going to make a big hug. And as we bring the hands in, we're going to come down and just kind of sit down for a second. And then the hands drop and come out. Inhale. Kind of hug for a second and then start the exhale. And it just kind of comes in and you sit down and finish the exhale. One more. Good. So this one can be done on one side, right? Which is a little bit more Tai Chi. And so just pick a leg and kind of do the same exercise. Inhale, and then exhale. Good. One more. Good. And then shift feet. Just kind of try that a couple of times. Get a feeling for the legs and the posture, right? We want to sit down on the back leg as we draw in. So inhale, draw in, exhale. And then inhale, exhale. One more. Good. And then relax for a moment. So that's actually one exercise, and that's the drawing in and down. So it can be done very stationary, and you just kind of go up and down, and then the other is rocking out and back. And people that do the Tai Chi exercises a lot really like the one-legged one, and so you can do that both legs, each leg. So the next one we're going to look at is presence in walking, and this is actually a Zen practice which we pick up many times. A lot of people look at it and what it is, the idea of being in the moment, right? This is a great exercise for being in the moment. So a lot of the times when we walk, we're really in this pattern of just jumping from one leg to the other or falling from one leg to the other. And so this one is a matter of rolling off of one foot and rolling onto the next foot so that you're never off the ground. You're very stationary in the step. So as I roll off of my back foot, I set my heel down and then I roll into the middle of the foot. And as I roll off my foot onto my toe, I put my heel down and roll my foot. So I try and keep my foot in kind of a rolling feeling instead of a flat sensation. I don't want to just put my foot down and then go to the next one. I'm trying to keep my foot kind of in a curve and roll from heel to toe. And of course you immediately notice this takes a lot of concentration, so it really keeps you in the moment. So far, so good. Okay, so this practice takes a little time to master and get used to the movement, but the idea is going to be that we want to get to that whole Tai Chi feeling. So we want to have our knees bent and we want to be rolling and floating, so the body is just floating along while the legs are working underneath it. So you can see that my body is staying very level and my legs are picking up all of the bounce, all of the work of going up and down is only happening down here, and the body's just kind of floating along. And that's that Zen moment. You're trying to get to that state where you're completely separated, and the body is just floating in a space while you're walking, and all you think about is the bottom of the feet rolling from step to step. Right? Very clearing, very opening. So take a moment in a day. You only need to try a couple of steps each day to kind of get the feel for it. And then if it works for you, play with it a little bit every day. It's kind of like the Chi Gung. If you just do 10 breaths in the morning when you get up, quietly at the side of the bed, and then get up on your way after a couple of weeks, you start realizing, wow, how did I go on life without doing that every morning to really just open up and let things calm down or let things clear. Excuse me. Any questions about the two exercises? Good exercises to practice this time of year. All right, so let's do our regular exercises. We're going to start in the standing position. We'll do the 3 gates 3 times. We'll do the first moving, second moving 3 times in both directions, or in each direction, and then the belt gong 3 times in each direction. Stop and do the standing for a couple of moments, and then we'll make sure everybody's okay and no questions, and then we'll close. Sound good? All right, so start in the standing position. Feel the bottom of the feet. You want to feel your weight in the middle between the heels and the toes. Not too much on the toes, not too much on the heels, right in the middle. Bend the knees and straighten out the lower back. Lift up the head and straighten the arms so that they're in the middle of the body, not too far forward, not too far backwards. The palms face each other, the elbows bent and pulled out slightly. Rest the tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth, just behind the front teeth. And take a couple of breaths and just feel the energy relax, feel the body smooth and calm. And 3 gates gong. When you're ready, inhale, roll the feet out, open the 3 gates. Two, three, first moving gong, roll back as you inhale, open. Two, three, second moving gong, open the feet a little bit further, fingers point to Dantian. 1, 2, 3, 1. Reverse direction, 1, 2, 3, 'And back to the standing position, belt gong. Pick a side to start. 1. Two. Three. And switch sides. 1. 2. 3. 'Relax the arms at the sides. Take a couple of breaths to relax in a standing position. Any questions, thoughts about the exercises? Mm-hmm. Is it painful? Or is it just making noise?
It just makes a lot of noise, but that's good for the brain. Well, I don't know if I should keep doing it or...
My physical therapist says as long as the cracking doesn't have pain associated with it, it's just part of aging, and to just move on and try not to let it bother you. It's when it catches, you can feel it where it normally clicks and it doesn't, and it's stuck, and the thing's not moving, is when you need to consider like massage and soaking and things like that. If you do fish oils or oils like coconut oil or fish oil or vitamin D and an oil content, up them. You can double or triple them this time of year because our body needs the extra fat, and it works the joints. It improves the fluidity in the system, the lymph system, and the moisture system, which includes the lungs and the heart and the liver and the spleen. It's all part of the lymph system. So that can be increased, and it reduces the clicking sound, and it also relaxes the nervous system so that the clicking doesn't bother you. And that's kind of where we are as we get older, so it makes noise. Don't worry about it. That just makes it worse. You gotta be more relaxed and let it be okay to age. One of my students who made it to his black belt in karate with me called the other day in a frantic world of hurt because the economy is terrible, the environment's a mess, and we're destroying rainforests at an alarming rate. And he just had this whole thing, he just spewed it all out at me, and I'm smiling to him on the phone going, okay, so what do you want to do about it? And he goes, well, we need to do something. And I said, well, what can you do? What do you want to do with it in your life? What do you mean? He says, well, we're born, we live our lives, and we die. Eventually the environment is going to die and we're all going to go away, and that's just life. It's not something that you can fix. What do you want to do about it? Because if you're concerned, take action. Apply your knowledge, apply what you're thinking, and make it real for you. And he's like, you're the only person I can call and talk to about this kind of stuff. And it's like, that's okay. You call me anytime, you know. But just realize this is it. As Lu Ming was pronounced at saying on a regular basis, the major cause of death is birth. Because you don't get out of it alive. You know, all you can do is just do what you can with the life that you have, and when it's over, be happy. Go with a smile on your face. Don't claw trying to keep yourself here. It doesn't help. It doesn't work. Okay. So let's go ahead and do the closing exercise. So relax the body. Find that nice comfortable position and just ignore the clicking sounds. Take a deep breath. And relax. And when you're ready, turn the palms out. Inhale, rise up. Gathering the universal chi. Guiding it in and down. And take a breath with the heart and lungs. And guide it down the back to the Dan Tian and Ming Men, and take a breath there. And then guide it down the legs, nourish the knees and the ankles. Take a breath at the bottom of the feet. And take a couple more breaths and try and feel the connection from the top of the head, down the spine, through the joints, the hips, the knees, and the ankles, to the feet, and down into the ground. And when you're ready, palms out, inhale, rise up. Take a breath at the heart and lungs. And at the Dan Tian and Ming Men. And the bubbling spring points to the bottoms of the feet. Take a couple more breaths and just try to imagine a pillar of energy in the center of the body, flowing down, connecting you to everything from the heavens to the earth. And when you're ready, palms out, inhale, rise up. Your breath at the heart and lungs. And at the Dan Tian and Ming Men. And bubbling spring points at the bottoms of the feet. Take a couple more breaths and just feel the body and the energy kind of sink into the ground. last thoughts or questions? Thank you so much for coming. Enjoy the rest of the day. We'd like to acknowledge Santa Rosa Junior College and the Petaluma campus, and particularly the Professional Development Activities Department for providing us with the opportunity to perform these sessions and currently at the Petaluma campus. Thank you all.